So welcome back to part 5 of this series on mindfulness to help us manage overthinking. And in this part, we will be focusing on how mindfulness can allow us to notice space around thoughts and make better decisions as a result of it. So after impermanence and noticing that thoughts and feelings arise and pass away, in relation to overthinking, that can be very useful. But the next stage, and where I would go with this, would be to notice this space around thoughts and feelings. Perhaps when you've practiced meditation before, you may have your eyes closed or open, and thoughts and feelings seem to appear in consciousness or in the mind and pass away again. And what we're doing when we're practicing mindfulness meditation is we're trying to expand this space. So before the present thought or something that you're overthinking has arisen, there's a space, the mind, this sort of clarity. And then after the thought has passed, there's this space again. And this space we can relax in. It can offer us respite from certain negative thoughts. And we can actually expand this through training in mindfulness. And the way I would go about doing this is, if a thought's bothering you, let it rise, pass away, try not to cling to it, try not to pull a better thought in. And then as you notice that there's just this stillness, see if you can be with that. It's known as open awareness or nature of mind, where the mind just is the way it is. And if you can rest in that and relax into that, that will grow over time and expand over time. And instead of then focusing on the breath or on sounds or the feeling in the body, you can actually put your attention on this space in between thoughts and just rest your mind there. And this offers respite, as I've said, for overthinking. It offers great relief to your brain and your mind. Overthinking can be very stressful on the nervous system, on the neurons that are firing in your brain, and this constant fight or flight of thinking and analysis and trying to solve things. And if you can find this place that's always already there, we just have to notice that it's already there rather than think our way to it. Just notice that there is this space either side of thoughts or around thoughts. As you close your eyes, you may notice that thoughts seem to come across your lens or across your awareness and attention. So you're just trying to relax, let thoughts and feelings come in and pass by themselves and build this space. And what it should offer you is this relief for your mental health as well as for thinking, and a place that you can keep coming back to and rest as. And I love the quote from Viktor Frankl: in between stimulus and response there's a space, there's a moment, and in that moment you can decide who you're going to be and make better choices. And now we'll go on to look at how, once you've accessed this space, how you can actually use it to combat overthinking by making better choices and choosing positive thoughts or positive feelings over holding on to negatives. So if you're enjoying this so far, it would mean a huge deal to me if you could like and subscribe, maybe give me a comment, let me know if you're enjoying this one, any future videos you'd like me to do, and which maybe other videos in this series you've enjoyed. So yeah, let's have a look at how you can make better choices by being in this space. So if we, instead of noticing this space that's around thoughts before and after them, that's always already free, if instead of doing that, we identify with thoughts and either follow them if they're good or try and push them away if they're bad, we're not actually using mindfulness to the best of its ability. So what mindfulness is doing is, by itself, it's not going to improve necessarily our state of mind. We're just becoming more aware of what's appearing in our mind. And then what it will allow us to do, instead of following and identifying, as I say, it will allow us to make a choice. Because if we're always identifying everything that comes into our mind and following the good and chasing the bad away, we're not having the space to choose. And that's the beauty of mindfulness. It allows the psychological tools, the tools from Stoicism, the tools from the behavioral tools and the habit-based tools to flourish. It gives us space to notice and then implement the really useful tools that can increase positivity. like gratitude and loving kindness and forgiveness and positive thinking and negative visualizations and all these wonderful tools, they can be put in by noticing this space and then using it to make a choice of how you want to act. So what we're trying to do is, instead of identify, notice the space that's free, and within that space then you can choose consciously to act a certain way that we couldn't do if we were over identified. So I love the example from Jack Cornfield, who's a wonderful meditation teacher, one of the first to bring the Eastern traditions back to America, and then they've come here to the UK as well. And he used the example that when you shake a tree, he uses the example of a tangerine tree or an orange tree. When you shake the tree, you can then decide, once the fruit have fallen, to pick up the rotten ones or the ripe ones. And the shaking of the tree analogy is the mindfulness, is being able to access that space of non-judgmental noticing of the contents of consciousness, and then after that choose, do I want to follow the negatives or do I want to follow the positives? How do I want to act? How do I want to feel? How do I want to think? And without allowing yourself to have the space to make proper decisions, you're just being reactive rather than responding. And that's the beauty that we're trying to learn here. It won't just stop overthinking, being able to notice this space. It will allow you to introduce better thoughts and cultivate better feelings and live in a more harmonious way with yourself and with other people. So yeah, that's it for this one. We're trying to keep these short, and I'm really enjoying making this series for you. And there'll be another part, which will be part 6 of the series on overthinking, where we'll look a little bit more about this idea of the fact that the mind's always already free. And if you can notice that fact about the mind, that overthinking is something that is happening within the mind and within consciousness, rather than you are overthinking and then everything else is happening downstream from that. And this last piece that I'm going to give you in the next part of the series is the ultimate sort of piece of your toolkit for overthinking. It's the ultimate meta skill within this series. So I hope you're there for the next video, and until next time, take care, my friends.